What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about 6 reasons why health anxiety is hard to deal with. Yes, hard to overcome fully. I dealt with this for 5 freaking long years, so I know how hard it is. But I was able to fully overcome health anxiety, otherwise known as hypochondria. It was very difficult. A lot of strategy, a lot of consistency, a lot of patience, acceptance. There's tons of things that come into health anxiety recovery. That's why I think it's a really good idea that you watch these videos and you trust me and apply the things that I give you, because it will work. It just takes time. And I think that's one of the biggest issues when it comes to health anxiety. It takes a little bit longer, in my opinion, than other things, and that requires a lot of patience. So many things come into health anxiety and they have to kind of come together, at the same time. And once that happens, recovery is possible. You don't have to deal with this the rest of your life. I don't care what anybody says. I don't deal with it anymore. So that's why I created this channel, to first help me with my own health anxiety, and eventually I was able to overcome it and help so many of you. And I'm so proud of that, and I love you guys. So if you're new here, you deal with anxiety, you deal with health anxiety, hit the subscribe button down below, because I have hundreds of these types of videos. But you know what time it is, guys. Smash the like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. Leave me a comment, guys. Let me know if you can relate with any of these reasons that I'm going to give. I'm going to give you 6 of them. Remember, guys, since I've been through this and I offer experience, I also have a course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. That's in the description, and I do one-on-one coaching. 90% of the people that I talk to with my one-on-one coaching program and that have gotten into that course deal with health anxiety, okay? So if you haven't got into either of those things, probably a good idea to do it. So the first one, guys, is being symptom focused. This isn't just for people with health anxiety. I just think people with health anxiety have a bigger issue with this. Sure, if you have social anxiety or just GAD or maybe OCD, the symptoms aren't comfortable. But the problem with people with health anxiety is we think these symptoms are a disease, right? We think that they're actually killing us. So we're even more symptom focused than other people with anxiety. And the problem with being symptom focused and what makes it so hard is now we're not actually worrying about what started the anxiety itself, right? It could have been a combination of things, like in my life, that led to my anxiety. But now I was so worried about chest pain, heart rate, blood pressure, all these chills, numbness, tingling, all this stuff, that I wasn't working on what caused it. And if you can't ever work on what caused it and you shut that engine off, the symptoms will continue. So basically, you're just trying to work recovery from the outside in. That's not how we do it. And that's why I have that course, because I show you that you have to change your perspective and work on the root issues, the root causes. And if you don't know what those are, start investigating, all right? Because that's super important. Recovery isn't possible unless you get down to that. So we are extremely symptom focused. Symptom this, symptom that. How do I shut off these symptoms? I could work on myself, or I could stick with a routine, or I could get better sleep, or do this or do that if I didn't have symptoms. So yes, people with health anxiety, something that works against them, they are extremely symptom focused. As long as you're symptom focused, though, I'm just going to be 100% honest, because it's my job. I don't want to sugarcoat. Don't sugarcoat with my coaching clients. I don't want to sugarcoat with you guys either. If you're going to be extremely symptom focused, you will not recover. Okay, so I just want to let you know. It's going to take time and practice. You can get there, but that needs to be the ultimate goal. You're not symptom focused anymore, because when you're not so symptom focused, the fear element goes away, therefore the symptom diminishes, and that's when you start seeing your symptoms dissipate. All right, the next one is you have this new awakened fear of death and dying and disease. It's almost like you lost some of your childhood innocence. And that's what happened to me extremely quickly. Whenever I had my first panic attack, it was like traumatizing to me. Like I thought I was having a heart attack. It was terrible. I thought I was about to die. So now I had this new awakened reality, or perspective on life. And I was just like, oh my God, one day I'm not gonna be here. Oh my God, I'm gonna die one day. And I thought about this a few times earlier in my life, but this was really bad. I mean, I was like, oh my God, like this is real. And then it didn't help that I thought I now had a heart problem, right? So I thought every day was my last day. Every moment could have been my last. So I was constantly afraid of death, dying, disease, sickness, illness, more so than I've ever been in my entire life. So guess what? Now we have to handle that fear along with what started the symptoms, right? So now we're trying to figure out what caused the anxiety to happen and to fix that, right? So we're not so symptom focused. But now we have to also worry about our new fear of death and dying and disease that we have. And that's hard to overcome as well. And if you haven't seen my video on death is my motivation, go check that video out. I'll try to find it and link it at the end of this. I had to change my perception on death to overcome that fear. I'm not going to go into it on this video, but it's now hard to overcome health anxiety because now you just fear death more so than you've ever feared in your life. It's like a piece of your innocence has been lost. Okay, so the next one, guys, is constant need of external reassurance. Again, this isn't isolated to just health anxiety, but people with health anxiety, I feel like, need even more reassurance. So examples of this, I've talked about my mom many times on this channel being a huge source of external reassurance, and she was a nurse. So guess what I did every day? Called her up, talked about my symptoms. You know, if I was having panic or anything, I'd always call her, sometimes multiple times a day. I had to get rid of that, right? And that's external reassurance. If you want to recover, you need internal reassurance. So other forms of external reassurance, we are constantly Googling because we think that it's keeping us safe, that we're protecting ourselves, but we're doing the opposite. We're just putting more fear into our heart. We're believing all of the negative things that we're seeing. Even if we find something positive, we're not going to believe that, right? We're going to believe all the overwhelmingly amount of negative things that we find because we're wired to negativity. So you have to stop with the Googling. We're constantly needing to know what our heart rate is, or our blood pressure, or our blood sugar, or our oxygen levels, right? We need to know all those things at all times to make sure that we are safe. We need that constant reassurance, right? You won't recover if you keep doing that. We constantly go back to the doctors over and over and over again. You know, there were nights where I spent the night at the dang ER just in case I was going to have a heart attack. I had gotten the same testing over and over and over again. We have this constant need for external reassurance, and it lasts less and less and less each time we get it, right? It's like an addiction all on its own. Your tolerance builds to the external reassurance, so therefore you need more of it. So we have to get away from external reassurance and move to internal reassurance. So the constant need of that makes it difficult. You're not developing the internal voice that says, look, I'm healthy, I'm fine, disease is progressive. You're not able to reassure yourself because you're constantly needing it from somebody else, right? So you have to get rid of that. The next one, you're hyper aware and hyper focused, everything going on in your body and even outside. So again, not isolated to health anxiety, but I think people with health anxiety have a bigger problem with this because we're even more symptom focused. This makes it difficult to do anything. A part of my day that was horrible was at night because I was still, not a lot of things were going on around me, so I could feel literally anything in my body. If you have health anxiety, you're going to be a lot more sensitive to sensations and symptoms inside or outside your body than the average person. What does this do also? In my opinion, this is just my opinion, I don't know if science backs this up, but if you're very sensitive to something and you're hyper aware of it, it's in my belief that your pain threshold goes down. So now you're feeling so many more things than the average person would feel, and they hurt worse, okay? So being very hyper aware, focused, I'm talking about I could feel everything that would happen with my heart. I could feel everything that would happen in my stomach or my gut. I felt any weird little thing that would happen in my head. Any twitch, any tension, anything symptom related. I can go on and on and on about it, but the fact is I was super in tune with it, and it would happen. I'd be like, what's that? What's this? What's that? Oh my God, is this, you know what I mean? And then I would catastrophize. The symptom would get worse. So being very focused and hyper aware and being sensitive is another problem. And we were so sensitive for so long, right? And we're so focused and hyper aware, it takes a long time to desensitize. So desensitization, or that's, I don't know why that's a hard word for me to say, but desensitizing, that's a better way to say it. Desensitizing the body is another huge part of recovery, and that takes time, right? So you can see a lot of things have to come together to recover from health anxiety. So it's not an easy task. The next one, usual tools for anxiety take longer to adapt, learn, or to help, okay? This is why I have a list of extreme tools in my course, because I needed something extra to combat my health anxiety, all right? Let me give you an example. Meditation. We hear that that's great for anxiety, right? But when it comes to health anxiety, we're very sensitive. We're very aware of everything going on in our body. What are we required to do when we meditate? Sit still. Sit still. I don't know how many people that I've coached on the phone that said that they can't do meditation. Will meditation still help somebody with health anxiety? Yes. Is it more difficult to learn and to adapt to and to start seeing results from? Probably so. In my opinion, that's just my opinion from experience and from coaching other people. Meditation is harder, right? More extreme things seem to help. Exercising when you feel symptoms, challenging the symptoms, practicing self-reassurance, getting rid of the Googling and the external reassurance, the vital checking, constant need for testing and things like that seem to be more effective than just meditation on its own, or visualization and things like that. Because we're so symptom focused, it distracts us from getting as much benefit out of those things. This doesn't apply to everybody. There's always going to be somebody that gets a ton of benefits out of like a breathing technique or a meditation, right? It just hits them different. They love it. It helps. But I'm just giving you a general consensus from all the people that I've talked to, and I've talked to hundreds of people. So things like breathing techniques, visualization, especially like meditation, it takes longer for you to get used to that, because when you're super sensitive and you're hyper-aware, hyper-focused, you're feeling all these symptoms even more when you're still. And that's why I have this huge list of extreme tools on my course, because I feel like you got to do the opposite in those moments to desensitize your body, right? And to shut off the mind and shut off the symptoms. So meditation is different. You know what I mean? Like, you have to sit there. Is it good to practice that discipline? Yes, you need that. You have to be able to sit still and deal with symptoms. But in the beginning, I feel like, especially when you're first entering recovery or trying to manage, you need a tool that helps shut the symptoms off and shut your mind down. And then you can get the benefits of the meditation afterwards. So with my daily routine that I include in the course, I talk about, look, in the beginning, like, I want you to exercise and do your cold showers and desensitize, then jump into mindfulness. Even though we're taught that mindfulness needs to be the thing that we do right when we wake up and right before we go to bed. But with health anxiety, guys, it's harder to do that when you wake up with symptoms and anxiety, and now you're being asked to sit still and do guided meditation, okay? So I just think with the usual tools that we hear for anxiety from a lot of people, whether it be a professional or even, online information, articles, I think it can be discouraging to somebody with health anxiety, because we're so sensitive, right? We have all these symptoms, and it's hard for us to get the benefits as quickly as maybe somebody with just like social anxiety or generalized anxiety disorder. Health anxiety is just, it's a different animal. It's more complex. All right, the next one, guys, is therapy and doctor disconnect, okay? I'm gonna start this off by saying, this is just from what my clients have told me. I've never been to a therapist to get over my anxiety. Everything that I learned was from hitting rock bottom, from suffering a lot, having to pick myself back up, just through straight up experience, trying this out, trying that out. I don't know if it was because I was hard-headed or what. I know I didn't have a lot of money at the time, so I never saw a therapist. I didn't have a life coach, but I can understand the doctor disconnect as well, because I went to a lot of doctors. A lot of doctors told me that it was just in my head, that I'm just imagining these things. There was not much sympathy, a lot of rolling of eyes, a lot of chuckles, sometimes even anger from doctors. So I felt disconnected from them. As far as the therapy disconnect, what I'm about to tell you is primarily just about what all of my clients had told me. Understand that 90% of the people that I talk to with coaching have health anxiety, okay? And that's what this video is about. Don't get me wrong, I promote therapy. I think everybody should go to see a therapist. I think you need therapy and a life coach, honestly, especially if you have health anxiety. You need that element of experience to help you. Because yes, I hear it time and time and time again. Therapy was okay, Trey, but I just felt like they didn't understand. And with health anxiety, you need somebody to understand what you're going through, whether it be relating with symptoms or the vicious cycle and everything that comes with the fear of death and dying. And they just said that they didn't feel that connection with their therapist. And this concerns me, and a lot of these people eventually, then they do the coaching with me to see if it helps. And then I can't tell you how many times I've been told this, and it isn't to toot my horn. It's to actually show you the level of concern that I have for people with health anxiety. And I think they're missing out on the experience element. Trey, your coaching helped me in one call more than years of therapy. And it makes me feel almost uncomfortable whenever I hear that. I hear it all the time. I'm still not used to it. In a time that I should be flattered, I'm more so concerned. I'm like, man, and I think a lot of people miss out on that experience element. So that's why I say, if you haven't tried coaching or a course, it doesn't have to be with me, shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be with me. Don't act like I'm trying to sell you on me. Go to another YouTuber, find another coach online, look up other Instagrammers that deal with the health anxiety. Try to see if they have something or offer something. It's not just about me. I want you to get better. That's why I put free videos out almost every single day. Okay? So go get help if you haven't gotten any. But this isn't to knock therapy or anything. But anyways, guys, I love you. That's 6 reasons why I think health anxiety is hard to overcome. So guys, keep fighting. I love you. Again, my coaching info, my course, everything, if you want to go through me, through my experience, it's down below in the description and in the first pinned comment. Please subscribe if you're new here. Like this video, please, if you got value. If you've watched it to this point, I want you in all caps in the description, in the comment section to put, I will overcome health anxiety. Okay, let's spread some good vibes. But I love you, and until next time, keep fighting.